Hello boys and girls, my name is White Rhino PSO, and today I am playing Thief: The Dark Project. Now, if you've watched my series on Wolfenstein 3D, you might have heard me mention that it basically kickstarted the first-person shooter genre. Well, Thief did the same thing, but for the first-person stealth genre, and most of the people who have played it consider it one of the best games they've ever played, if not one of the best games ever made. Now, I first played it when I was a lot younger than I am today, but I think I can still definitely agree with that sentiment. Before we get started, though, I should also mention that I'm actually playing the later release of the game known as Thief Gold, which adds some extra levels and updates some of the pre-existing ones. Almost everything else can be explained as I play, so let's get started. You can choose to play the game, you can choose to play any mission in one of 3 different difficulties. I'm going to explain the differences it makes to each level before those levels begin, but for the most part, higher difficulties add more guards. They require you to steal things that add up to a certain amount of gold, as well as sometimes stealing specific items. And higher difficulties also like to add the stipulation that you either not kill anyone who is unarmed, or that you not kill anyone at all. Because of the way that I like to play my stealth games, and due to how difficult some of the levels were for me as a kid, in fact, I never even made it more than halfway through this game, I'm going to be playing it on the normal difficulty, as that gives me the most leeway when it comes to how to deal with any one situation. But for now, the difficulty doesn't matter when you're choosing training because it's the same either way. And this game has some amazing before mission cutscenes. The essence of balance is detachment. To embrace a cause, to grow fond or spiteful, is to lose one's balance. After which, no action can be trusted. Our burden is not for the dependent of spirit. Manor, third keeper.
I was a kid. No parents, no home. Running messages and picking pockets to keep my ribs from meeting my spine. One night I saw a man. Folks just passed him by like he wasn't there. I thought he must have something valuable, so I snuck up on him and made a grab.
That's not for you.
Please, sir, I'm hungry. Don't tell the Hammers, I promise.
What is your name, boy?
Garrett.
You have talent, lad.
Let go of me, old man!
To see a keeper is not an easy thing, especially one who does not wish to be seen. We have a need for those as gifted as yourself. If you've grown tired of how you live, then follow me, and we will show you a different way.
Leave me alone!
As you wish.
I caught up with him just before he vanished into the crowd. It was the beginning of a very long education.
So like I mentioned, the difficulty doesn't matter between normal, hard, and expert for the training mission. Follow the directions of your instructor in order to pass the training tests.
Welcome, young Garrett. In the nearby rooms, I will instruct you in the various skills you will need to survive. Please stay in the entrance area to each room while I explain the room's purpose. When you are ready to begin your lessons, proceed down this hallway to the first room.
Yep, so we are now in the game, and just a few things to mention. You have a compass, because the game does not really... It has a map, but the map is super simple. Like, it's a map that a person would have sketched, and it gives you just a general idea of where you are in the mission itself. You also have a health bar at the bottom left, and at the bottom center is the vision gem, which actually the game is going to explain in just a second.
You must learn how to move unseen. Stay in the shadows. Avoid the light. The indicator on your screen will tell you how visible you are. Try to reach the top of the platform without being seen.
Yeah, so when the gem is completely dark, then I can't be seen by almost anybody. So this first training bit is just getting across the room while sticking to these shadowy areas.
Well done. I did not see you approach.
Open this door to continue. When the door is near the center of your screen, it will light up, indicating that it is selected. To manipulate selected doors and other objects, use them. Good. Proceed down this corridor for your next test.
Oh, and like the game says, you can check your map. So I've made it out of that little library area and into, this is the darkened hall, and then next up is the sound hall.
Now you must learn to move quietly. Some surfaces are louder than others when walked upon, and moving quickly makes more noise than moving slowly. Listen to your own footsteps to hear how much noise you are making. The instructor will have his back turned. You must get to the top of the platform without being heard.
So yes, carpet is absolutely your friend in this game, and metal plates are not. And like he said, moving quickly actually is louder than moving slowly. So there's a bunch of different movement abilities. There's straight running, then there's walking speed, and then there's, if you hold, well, I have it mapped to hold control, then you kind of slow whichever movement you're doing. So like there's a half run and a half walk, and then you can crouch, and you can even go super creep slow with the crouching. But this guy's got his back turned to me because he's just trying to listen for me. So he doesn't really notice as I get close with running.
Very good. I did not hear you traverse the room.
Beyond this door is a hallway that will lead you to your next task.
So staying in the shadows and staying quiet are basically the main aspects of how you want to be moving around the world.
Now get your weapons. To pick up objects, select them by centering them on screen until they light up. Then use them. Choose your weapon now. Try readying your sword and then your bow. You can always put them away again if you need your hands free. Now let's go out to the courtyard for some target practice. Ready your bow. Knock an arrow and draw back the string by holding down the attack button. Make sure you draw all the way back, or your shot will not have full power. Take aim, and when you are ready to shoot, release your attack. See if you can hit one of these targets. Good shot. Keep
Nice.
practicing if you wish. When you are ready to proceed, approach the training dummy and ready your sword.
Something they don't mention is that when you have a weapon out, I believe, generally depending on the weapon, you are more easy to see. Like having your sword out, you're more visible, and I don't know if you can climb things with it or not. But yeah, you can always just put whatever weapon you've got away. Oh, I know when you've got your sword out, you move slower anyway.
Swing at the target with the attack button. A quick tap will give you a slash. Move the tip of your sword to the left of the target for a left slash, and to the right of the target for a right slash. Hold the attack button down, then release for an overhead swing. Try both slashes and the overhead swing on the practice dummy. Good job, you're ready for a live opponent. To practice against your partner, enter the cobbled sparring area.
The game also, the combat is kind of finicky if you're not just straight up taking people out with a bow. And this kind of goes to show that I don't think you really want to be getting into
Well done. Sparring if you wish. When you are
combat
done,
with
leave the
people.
sparring area.
Like
That's
if-
enough sparring for today. Please walk over to the table.
if you can avoid
Would
direct
you care for
combat.
some refreshment before
you
we
should.
move on, young Garrett? Please pick up all of the items on this table.
So, there we go. Apples do give you back some of your health, but only a very little, I believe. Health potions do the same, but are a lot more expensive. I believe usually you can find apples and cheese and bread and different food in in levels themselves.
Cycle through your
And then
inventory
keys.
to see the objects you have in your pockets. Once an object is displayed, you may use it. Have something to eat if you wish. Then you may proceed. The next test is waiting on the other side of the metal door. The door is locked, but the key from the table will open it. To unlock the door, select the key in your inventory. Center the door on screen until it lights up. Then use the key on the door.
Yeah, so you cycle to your item, and then you hit F, and...
Good. Now head down this hallway to get to your next test.
And then use it. This here is tiled floor. That is very easy to be hurt on. So, even when you're not running. So you'll come to love carpet and hate tiled floors.
Now you will learn new movement skills. First, climb the rope by jumping onto it. Move while looking up or down to climb up or down the rope. Turn to change your facing. If you jump again, you will release the rope. Now climb the rope to get to the top of the platform.
Oh, I didn't realize that. You can climb up or down quickly or slowly as well. I wonder if people can hear you on certain speeds.
Well done. Run and jump across the gap to the other side of the stream. Good jump. This obstacle is easy to climb if you know how. First, move close to the wall. Next, jump to grab the edge of the wall and pull yourself up. Good job. I am most pleased with your progress. You have passed the last test for today. If you wish, you may stay to practice your climbing and jumping, or swimming, ducking, leaning, or crawling. When you are finished, you may return to your chambers by going through that red door.
Oh,
Farewell.
is that... See, that's something I didn't know as a kid either. When you're on a rope, if you hit the crouch button, you just drop off, rather than back when I was a kid, I used to always jump off ropes, and sometimes that can really hurt you. So this is the end of the training, but you always want to do the training first, because in here is some gold.
Keepers were training me to be one of them, but I found other uses for those skills.
Yep, so then after the mission finishes, it shows you your, what do you call it, objectives that you completed. Also the stats of how many people you killed and how much, usually I think how much gold you got. But like I was saying, in the training, you go through the door and that ends the mission. Well, at the far end on a table is a golden something or other that you can pick up to get money for your next mission. That's something that the game doesn't really mention to begin with, is before each mission you have a chance to buy more equipment for that mission. But the money you have to use in the shop is the money you have from the previous mission. But say you buy a bunch of stuff and you have 50 gold left over, I don't think that 50 gold carries over to the next mission. But anyway, since there's more than enough time left in this video, I'm going to go straight off into the the first real mission. The most promising acolyte left us, not out of the lesser the lesser folly of sentiment, but the greater folly of anger. His heart was clouded and his balance was lost, but his abilities were unmatched. Even then, we knew to watch him most carefully. Keeper Annals.
I have a simple job planned for this evening. Break into a guarded mansion, steal another fat nobleman's priceless trinket, and leave quietly. Lord Bafford is out of town, and rumor has it that the captain of his house guard went with him as a bodyguard. The time is ripe for a bit of burglary. The front gate of Lord Bafford's Manor is always guarded, and the main street is far too exposed. But Cuddy tells me there's a better way in, around to the side, more out of the way. One guard, and likely no witnesses to complicate matters. The piece Cuddy wants is a scepter. Silver, jewels, the usual adornments. It should command a high price. Bafford, like most of his kind, probably keeps his treasures on the top floor of the place, close to his heart, and far from his servants. No point in waiting. I have Cuddy's old sketches of the place, and everyone who's going to be asleep inside already is. It's time to begin.
Alright, so on normal difficulty for Lord Bafford's Manor. Sneak into Lord Bafford's Manor and case the place. The well house and back is your best bet. If you can get the key from the guard, blackjacking or pickpocketing him would be quietest. That's another couple things that the game doesn't mention until now. You have a weapon called a blackjack, which is used to knock out enemies or unarmed people without killing them. On higher difficulties, if you blackjack certain enemies, like certain unarmed or ones the game considers weak, you will end up killing them, which ends up failing the mission, which is another reason why I like the normal difficulty anyway. Pickpocketing, just how the game showed you could pick up items from tables, you get close behind an enemy, and if they have something at their belt, that will light up, and you can hit the button to take it off their belt without them noticing. The second objective for normal is find the prize jeweled scepter and redistribute it to yourself. Try to do it without causing too much commotion. On hard difficulty, they also want you to steal 350 gold worth of valuables while you're there, and not to kill any of the servants because they're harmless. And once you've done all of that, you then have to get out of the house and back to the streets. On normal difficulty, you just find the scepter, and once you pick it up, the mission ends. On expert, it's basically the same, except stealing 700 worth of valuables, and you can't kill any servants, guards, pets, or anyone. But as I was mentioning before, I prefer to play on normal. And here's the shop screen, like I was mentioning before, where you can use the money from the previous mission, which you start with 300 regardless, and then the 50 extra because of what I stole during the training, and use that money to buy different things. Broadhead arrows are just your standard hit a guy with an arrow and you hopefully will kill him. Water arrows don't do damage to normal people, but they can make torches and fireplaces go out, which is very helpful when you're trying to sneak. And then healing potions just heal you. I usually like buying all of the water arrows because I like making as much shadow as I possibly can. And normally, when I was a kid, I would play and try to either blackjack or kill everybody on the entire map. Usually I didn't use any healing potions though, just because I rarely got into actual combat. And like I said, I don't think you keep money between missions, so I might as well just use everything I've got. Alright, and it just dumps us off in the streets, right in front of the front entrance, which there's the 3 guards that are mentioned, and more guards here, so it's saying do not try to go in through the front. What's neat is you actually can if you really wanted to, it's just extremely difficult. That's one of the things I love about Thief, is that the game loves to give you multiple options to do whatever it is you're trying to do. But yes, the map they give you is extremely simplistic. There's a basement area, there's a well, and then there's the mansion itself. Now, this dialogue I love, so I'm going to listen to it.
Hey, I'm going to the bear pits tomorrow. You want to come with?
Couldn't pay me enough.
What? You soft belly. The bears have got these new muzzles with under.
A few too many to try to get by here.
Last time I was there was a real eye gouging.
Nah. It makes me sick. When I was a kid...
Huh. Surprised you're even in this job.
Ooh, the blood, it just turns my poor tummy.
Shut up, you taffer. You want blood? You should have been there years ago. Tell you, the bears then.
Right,
they were
there's a
something
servant
to
over
see.
here.
Those bears, they didn't need no cheek spikes.
Help! Help!
Shit.
Straps to 'em now.
No paw hook.
Oh, God, no.
Bump into each other.
So... Wait, are they coming after me or no?
You're touging me. They look pretty mangy harmless. As long as they're not wearing harness.
That's why I can't stand the pits now. You don't know what you missed. They just don't make bears like they used to.
Whoa! Killer bears! Would have liked to see that.
Okay, so there is a servant that comes through the darkness of this alleyway here, and you can knock him out, but if he sees you, he runs inside. Of course, thankfully, because these guys were still talking about going to the bear pits, he appears to have just ran straight past them without alerting any of them, which is good because I believe I recently read that those guards are, they'll never run from a fight, and they're extremely difficult. They have more health and such. Also, this game is technically kind of like a medieval steampunk, because there's like torches, but then there's also magic and also like steam electricity. And there is a little hidden thing here with some more broadhead arrows and water arrows. Does this lead off? Yes, okay. So this is the back path leading off to the well house. But there is also the sewers. And I usually like going through the sewers for a couple of reasons. One is you can move a lot quicker without being heard. And two, I believe there's actually some more supplies or maybe gold hidden down here. Yeah, there's a guy up there. Alright, there was no supplies, but there is... This is this path over here, which leads behind the well house. If you listen real closely, you can hear... There's one guard that walks the streets, and then there's one guard outside the well house here. So I'm going to...
Could you possibly be any more helpful?
I think that other guy's coming soon.
Friend, what's with the crazy getup?
Yeah, so that servant is now somewhere in Lord Bafford's Manor. I'm not entirely sure where. I'm gonna put the blackjack away, because I'm not sure how close this other guard gets to him. Yeah, way up there. So I'm actually going to try and make it through without just straight going through everything like usual. So now I'm in the, I don't know if it's considered like an aquifer or a cistern or something, leading off to Bafford's Manor. And there is another secret down here. Put the sword away because you even swim slower. Where's my sword? There it is. And I remember those spiders being extremely difficult when I was a kid.
Since I'm in here, I might as well pick up something for myself.
There was one gold ring in that box worth 100 gold. So, not the most amount of money, but every little bit definitely helps. And then, of course, you've got a breath meter on the side there. Because what game with underwater does not have a breath meter? Except for, like, Kirby's Dream Land or something.
Inside at last.
There's nothing in those boxes. But there are now some more guards to listen to.
The sir could really beef up security some.
What do you mean? What's wrong with us?
Well, we're fine. But I've been thinking we should watch the outsides more.
That's stupid. People to worry about there on the inside.
No, then you catch them before they get inside, you taffer.
Oh!
Don't fully remember that room. Oh yeah, you can also pick up bodies and go and hide them, because if a guard finds a body, or if a guard even finds like a spot of blood, then they will raise the alarm. Actually, I'm gonna go put them off in this corner. And you as well. Alright, I believe there was something back in this room. What was that? Oh, it was a second healing potion. Alright, I think that's it. These first videos might end up being a little boring, just because I played the hell out of this game when I was younger. So there are a lot of things that I know extremely well. At least about these first few levels. Dirt flooring is also good when it comes to remaining quiet. And of course, leaning around walls is also helpful. There are a lot of different random items you can pick up, like bottles and such, and those are useful for mostly just making distractions. In fact, let me put out one of these torches, which will help quite a bit. I'll do both of them. Though I think if enemies are already alerted when you try to make a distraction, they might come straight for you, but I'm not sure. But it actually looks like I'm out of time for this video, so I'm going to cut things here. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.